Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm filming my October book haul, so all the books that I bought in the month of October. I am really bad for buying books. I've got literally hundreds of unread books on my shelves, but I just can't help myself. I think it's an addiction. I feel like buying books is one of the tamer addictions out there though, so it's fine I think. So yeah, I'll dive right in. So I have them all here in my lap, and I'm just gonna pick them off the pile and show you what I got. So in October I finally got around to spending a gift voucher that I got given for my birthday by my work colleague Claire. So thank you Claire for the next two books. The first book that I picked up was Ready Player One by Ernst Klein. It's set in 2044 and it's about a kind of utopian virtual reality. I haven't read the book yet, but I'm excited to. The second book that I picked up, also with the book token from Claire, was, what was it? The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. I believe this is a wartime historical fiction based on the kind of like relationship between two sisters, but I don't know much more than that other than it gets really good reviews. I'm really excited to read this one. I've been wanting to read it for a really long time, but just hadn't picked up a copy, and in October I did, so yes, The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. The next book that I picked up is the 2006 Man Booker winner, and that is The Inheritance of Loss by Hiran Desai. I know nothing about this book. I haven't actually even read the blurb, and I don't plan to. I like going into books blind, so yeah, this book that I picked up actually ended up being my favourite book for a long time, and that is Eileen by Atessa Moshfegh. Not only is this a beautiful hardcover copy of Eileen, but it's also one of my favourite books of 2016. I have already read this. I absolutely loved it. I'm kind of waffling about how I'm going to do a full review for this. That is coming soon, I promise. This is a book about a young woman named Eileen who's very strange and bizarre. She lives with her alcoholic father and her life is just kind of dreary and quite sad and lonely. Eileen is also an incredibly unlikable character, and yet she is one of my favourite characters that I have read this year. I absolutely loved Eileen, but I'm going to save my thoughts on this book for my full review. I loved it. If you have a similar kind of reading taste to me, then I imagine that you will love Eileen too. The next book that I picked up in the university bookshop for far too much money. A book, but it's snowing. It's just started snowing. Was The Fisherman by Chigozie Obioma. Contrary to what the next 3-4 books might suggest, I don't usually buy hardcovers, but I had some birthday money left over and some book vouchers, and I decided to pick this up. This was shortlisted for the Man Booker in 2015. It follows the story of 4 boys, and it tells the story of a prophecy foretold by this man in their village and the kind of events following that prophecy being made. This book I have already read. I read it in October and I really liked it. The next 2 books were on my Spookathon TBR, but I didn't actually get around to reading either of them. The first one is the very well known The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. Like, I don't really need to say all too much about this book. I think everyone's heard of it by now and everyone's probably read it apart from me. I didn't get around to reading this for my Spookathon. I read the first like 30 pages or so and I didn't get into it as quickly as I'd hoped, put it down, didn't pick it back up again. I'm gonna try again with this, but yeah, it just didn't do it for me right from the get-go. I don't know if I just wasn't in the mood for it or what, but yeah, The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins was a book that I picked up in October. This book that I picked up was also on my Spookathon TBR, and I was really excited for this one, but I also didn't get around to it. That said, I don't think I finished a single book on my Spookathon TBR. That's really bad. But the book that I picked up was The North Water by Ian Maguire. I think the cover on this edition is absolutely gorgeous. I really love it. From what I can gather from the back, this is kind of like a dark thriller about a whaling ship and kind of events on a whaling ship that turn sour. It sounds right up my alley. I think this gives me the feeling that only having spent too much on a hardcover edition of a book can give you, but it feels so nice. So yes, I picked up The North Water by Ian Maguire in October and I've yet to read it. It's definitely one that I want to get to in the kind of like winter months. I think that it would suit that kind of season well. The next book I actually managed to pick up in a charity shop for really, really cheap, and it's in a really pristine condition, so I'm really happy about that. That book is The Narrow Road to the Deep North by Richard Flanagan. The only mark being Much Love from Nevis Lewis, Christmas 2014 on the inside cover. But I really don't mind. It's just nice to know that someone has also picked this up and read it and got enjoyment from it. At least I hope that this person read this book before donating it to the charity shop, as it was a Christmas gift. This follows the story of a man who was a surgeon in a Burmese prisoner of war camp. It sounds very, very heavy, but incredibly interesting. Very, very excited to read this one. Again, it's one of those books that I've heard so many things about, I just never had picked it up, and I got really lucky and managed to score a hardcover, beautiful edition of this. I much prefer this cover to the other cover that I've seen, the paperback cover that I've seen in the shops. Can't talk. The last book that I picked up in the month of October I actually pre-ordered, which is something that I never do. In fact, I think, if I don't count the Harry Potter series, I think this is the first book that I've pre-ordered in my whole entire life, just because it sounded so up my alley, like so up my alley. Not something that I would usually read, but very, very me. Even, I haven't said the title. I got so excited to start talking about it that I didn't actually tell you what it was. It's Heroes of the Frontier by Dave Eggers. It says that this is a darkly comic story of a mother and her two children on a journey through an Alaskan wilderness plagued by wildfires and a uniquely American madness. A captivating, often hilarious novel of family, loss, and the curse of a violent America. Heroes of the Frontier is a powerful examination of our contemporary life and a rousing story of adventure. It sounds brilliant. Really, really excited when this came in the mail. I think that it's a really nice edition. It's not quite hardcover, but I wouldn't say it was well, it is a paperback, but it's kind of like a sturdy paperback. And I also think it looks really pretty. It's kind of like a monochromatic black and white photograph, just with the white text kind of embossed on. And I think it looks really nice. It looks really nice, and I think it sounds like something that I will absolutely devour. Very good. So that is all for my October book haul. Those are the books that I picked up in the month of October. Quite a few, probably spent a bit too much, but what can you do? If you have read or are planning to read any of the books that I just mentioned, then please do let me know in the comments and we can have a chat about them. Hope that you have a brilliant rest of the day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!